Welcome to the G Spot. Cheers. Hi, everybody. Good to have you with me. Once again. Yes. just playing and joking around. Actually, tonight we're doing something a little different than we've done before. We're using some new cameras. Got a couple new cameras, and we're on simultaneously on two different platforms. We're on YouTube, and we're going to be going on Facebook Live in a few minutes. So we're gonna do something a little bit different tonight. Hang in there with us. Tonight we're going to talk about the divinely inspired high value man. Pomegranate juice tonight. I'm excited. Got a lot I want to share with you tonight. I have a lot that I want to share. So I'm looking forward to it. Here we go. All right. Welcome on Facebook Live. Welcome to the G Spot. I'm your host, G. Alpha Palmer. And we're looking forward to another time of being able to grow, expand, and to move into another area in life. I'm excited because this is the first time that we've done Facebook Live. So I want you to please share this video because it's going to be a little bit different. To my audience on YouTube, it's what we normally do. So I'm glad that you're with me tonight as well. We're going to do it a little bit different tonight than we have in the past. So get ready. We're going to have a good time. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you are too. All right. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. No. Please. Just, well, anyway, come on. I mean, come on. No, please. I can't handle it. I just can't handle it. Anyway, well, okay. Let's try something else. All right. We're getting ready to start doing what we call sweet talk. Because what we want to do is we want to talk to you about some things that hopefully that will inspire you and not offend you. Our goal is not to offend you, but to help you reach new levels in your potential and in that area that maybe you are lacking in. So here we go. Come on. We got all. Come on. Woo. Come on. Yes, yes. I'm already on my way. We're here with you tonight. We're here with you tonight. That's right, YouTube. Facebook Live. We're here with you tonight. We're going to talk about how to identify a divinely inspired, high value man. Come on, come on, come on, come on. I hope you like the music because we like a little flow. Come on. We like a little flow with what we do. Okay? We're excited about you being with us. And we're excited about what we're getting ready to do because I believe it's going to change some lives. I really do. Come on. So nice, I can't but you know what else? We just don't do it one way. I'm gonna try some of this. A little gospel. Come on. Come on. Come on, Facebook Live. Come on, come on. YouTube. He's been good to you. The Creator's been good to each and every one of you. Yes, he has. Yes, she has. Yes, it has been good to you. So it's up to you to just have some gratitude because it may not be all that you want it to be, but it could be a whole lot worse. So show some gratitude. Come on. Yeah, come on. Yeah. I need some lights. Come on. Woo. Yeah. Come on now. We said it. We're bringing some light into the situation. No matter what situation you find yourself in, there's always an opportunity to have more light. All right. So we're going to shed some light on our situation tonight. Shed more light on our situation. Okay, here we go. We're ready to get started. And I'm excited what I like to do before we get started. Let me turn this music down a little bit because I want to talk to you for a second. I want to share some things with you before we get started. And so let's go with this again and let's bring it down a little bit. How about that? Okay. What I want to do before we get started, what I like to do is share a little bit about what I'm doing and why. One of the things I think is important to understand about social media is that social media gives us the opportunity to share in a way that we probably wouldn't with other venues. I've been on people's platforms where you got to pay to be on the platform. You got to give them money. I've been on people's platforms where you have to build up the main speaker. I've been on a whole lot of different platforms, but at the same time, being on a platform, you have to gear your message to a certain way. Your creativity can be stifled or stymied by those that are heading the particular platform. But here tonight, it's ours. We can do what we want to do. So I want to talk about some things, but before I do, I want to talk about one of my mentors who I think that has inspired me a great deal. And I just want, in this time of the COVID, the pandemic, a lot of us are shut in and we don't have a whole lot to do. What I want to encourage you to do is something different than I'm seeing done on a lot of social media platforms. I'm seeing people they're 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 pushing products. They're pushing products. Well, I'm gonna push a product, but I'm not gonna push it the same way that some other people do, because it's not about. It's for me. It's not about um, some of the things that are being pushed. I'm not going to go into it, but I'm going to say this: one of the things I find very useful in this time is reading. And one of the things that I find myself doing is reading because I'm busy in a lot of ways. I'm not able to read, like to pick up a book and read. But what I am able to do is to go to what a lot of people have on their phone is, and I'm one of them, and that's Audible. Audible is an app that allows you to buy books. And what I've done is I've started reading books through Audible, and what it does is it allows me to read books through listening. See, the problem with a lot of us is we can't hear. So what this does allow us to practice hearing, because so many times you try to get people to hear, they can't hear, because he that has an ear, let them hear. And the problem is some of us have not developed our hearing mechanisms. And see, now there's a difference between hearing and listening. Okay? Hearing and listening is different, because listening is the biological piece. But when we start hearing does something more, in that it allows us not only to hear, but goes beyond to the psychological, the spiritual, and to intellectual. Okay, so what I would encourage you to do is to try going and getting some books. And what I've learned is I can get some free books. I don't know about you, but free is always a good idea for me. So I've upped my reading to one book to I'm reading 3 books a week. I'm reading them at the same time, but at different times I will find myself reading different books. You might want to try it. It's a great way to enhance your knowledge level about certain aspects and certain things that interest you. So that's one thing I want to share with you. The other thing is I want to share with you one man that has been made a great. It had a great impact on my life, and I'm not the only one by no stretch of the imagination. I know I'm not, and but he has placed a stamp on so many thousands, millions, I would dare say hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people, and that is Dr. Miles Monroe, who is a mentor of mine. And I want to share with you that you want to pick up this book, and it's called The Pursuit of Purpose. You want to, and the information that you can get it is through my website. It's going to be listed below, and I'm going to get you this book, and in your hands, you want to get this book and to learn about how to pursue the most important principle, the most important thing in the life of people, in the life of humanity, and that is purpose. Now, this book is written by him, but this one's written by me, and it was written by me, and it was the forward was given by Dr. Monroe. So I would want you to go to my website, G Alfred Palmer, gapalmer.com, and order that book, and I'll throw in the workbook for free. We also have other books. We have a devotional, 31-day devotional, and it's called Purpose Pearls of Wisdom, Motivations, and Explorations into the Benefits of Rediscovering Individual Purpose. These are some valuable tools. And then also what we want to do is get into your hands my latest book, which is You Are a Leader. So you want to get those as well. So we'll have those for you in the description box down below for those on YouTube, and then we'll list it also in our Facebook once we get done here as well. All right, so I'm going to talk about something that I think that is very, very important, beloved, because um, this what we're experiencing. I don't know how many of you are really active on social media. I'm very active on it, and the reason I am is because it's part of what I'm supposed to do. I'm not doing it for form or fashion. I'm doing it because this is what I'm supposed to do, and I've been released to do it um, by the Creator and those that have mentored over me, and I'm glad to be able to spend this time with you to share the idea of the high value man. Now this is going to be a little different than what some people are purporting about the high value man. It's going to be a different perspective on it. So I'm going to ask you to uh, buckle your seatbelt, because one thing that G. Alpha Palmer is known for is kicking over sacred cows and some of the things, especially religious ideas. So we're going to kick over some religious ideas. But one thing I'm convinced of is this: you can't learn when your hands are clenched over something that you or with something that you have held for time immemorial. Just because you believe a thing does not mean that it's the only thing that needs to be learned on that subject. We have to continue to develop. We have to continue to elevate, expand, and extend. As we do that, we grow, and we're able to take in more information. We're able uh, to see more clearly and hear more broadly. And it's important that why is that important? The reason why is that's important is because the creator is not we have or our religion or our ideas have made him, her, it to be. It is more than that. So what we've got to learn how to do is to extend, expand, and to elevate. So that's what we want to do tonight. And so it's going to call for that for you to hear me tonight, because some will not be able to hear. And if you can't hear, this isn't meant for you. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the people that could hear what I'm saying. I mean, not everyone. It's really not. And so people get upset because they don't. But the thing is, the reason why they can't for the person hear what's being said. So I'm hearing a lot, and I like a lot of it. I really, really do. I think men need uh, to be elevated, because in this Western culture, men are being beat down, are being subjugated to irrelevance and insignificance. So there is a piece that I think that is very needful with the ones that are out there sharing about the whole idea of the high value man. Um, I support it. I really do. But at the same token, I realize there's more to it. There has to be. And I hear some folks that are even talking about high value man, alluding to some of what I'm going to talk about tonight. So here we go. When we talk about the a high value man, the first thing I want you to understand is that nothing comes without divine inspiration. Nothing comes without divine inspiration. Now, divine inspiration is not what we have been taught. Divine inspiration, we've been taught that the Bible is the inspired word of God. It is not. It is inspired, but it is not the word of God. It is inspired, I'll say it again, but it is not the word of God. It is no more inspired than any other classic literature that has been inspired. Now, why is that important? Because every literature, all literature, has benefit, and so does the biblical narrative. Now, I would tell you this again, that the Bible is not a religious book. We have made it a religious book, but it is not a religious book. The Bible, the biblical narrative, is a book for daily living on how to live in this realm as a human. It is not a religious book. We have taken many books and made them thus and so. But reality, the book is really to extend beyond what our monolithic or our own pinpointed idea of the book is to share. So what we've got to understand is that the the biblical narrative is not a book for religious people. The biblical narrative is for human beings. It's for human beings. So with that being in the crux of the beginning of what I want to share, that's the first That's the first sacred cow to get kicked over, but there are going to be more. Now, when we start talking about the whole idea of the biblical narrative, I think that it's important that we use it, and we use it as a means of us being able to maneuver within this realm called Earth. I believe that as long as you're on Earth, the biblical narrative applies to you. As long as you're alive, the biblical narrative is useful to you. That gives you the okay. That breath gives you the okay that says that you have the right to use the principles of the biblical narrative. Well, what are the principles? We're going to talk about a few. There are many, but we're going to talk about some that are outlined that gives us a basic understanding of what a high valued man and what a divinely inspired high valued man is. Okay. Now, when we start looking at the idea of humanity, the first thing that we've got to understand is this: you were not born a female and you were not born a male. You were not born a male and you were not born a female. You remember when when you when you had children, if you had children, when you were having the reveal party, I guess that's what they're called. And when sent up the balloon or you burst the balloon or whatever you did, there were two colors, right? There was a pink and a blue. Now, when you burst the balloon and pink came out, what did you say? You said it's a female. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You didn't say it was a female. You said it was a girl. When you bust that balloon and it was a blue smoke or whatever, you said it's a male. No, you didn't. You said it was a boy. Right? When you placed that baby, or when the nursing staff placed that baby in the cradle in the nursery in the hospital, and they put that little sign, it didn't say male in the last name. It says boy in the last name, or girl in the last name, or the name in the last name, right? But it still represented boy and girl. Now, why is that important? That's important because every human being comes here as a boy or as a girl. Boy or girl, you're not a male or female. Now, why is that important? Because before you were a boy and a girl, you were something else. Before you were a boy or a girl, you were an idea. Before you came here, you were an idea. What idea were you? You were a divine idea. Everything comes from the divine creator. Everything comes from the mentality, the idea, the mindset of the creator. You are a God idea. You are not an accident. No, you're not. I don't care what nobody says about you. No one say you're useless. You have a divine purpose. You bring something that is utterly important to this earth that no one else can do. That's how important you are. You're so important that there's no one else like you. There's no one like you, and there's no one that has ever been like you. There's no one like you now, and there will never be another one like you. You are an original. You are a masterpiece. You are a grimoire, right? You are a masterpiece. And don't let anyone tell you anything different. The reason why you're a masterpiece is not because you the man, or you a queen, or you a king, or you a gangster, or you no, that's not why. The reason why that you're valuable, the reason why that you are so meaningful is because you are an express image of the creator. You are an express image of the idea of the creator. We're looking for Biden and we're looking for Kamala Harris to change things. They're not going to change things. They're not, because you're the change maker. You are, not them. Every person here that's born is sent to answer. You're the answer to something. You are the solution to an equation. You are, not them. Well, they are too, but not in the sense that you are. There's something specific for you to do. Specific for you to do, not specific. Specific for you to do. And so in you doing that very thing that you've been created or sent to do, we can change the world. That's what we're supposed to do. In other words, we take dominion. See, that's the first thing that the Creator told Adam and Eve. He said, let us make man in our own image and after our likeness, and let them have what? Dominion. Let them have dominion. See, and so dominion is a principle that we are to have over the earth. But the only way that we can have dominion is that we have it or in the specific area in which we're sent. So many people are trying to become the masters of everything. And they're trying to become they're trying to do everything, and they can't, because every one of us are sent for one thing. One thing. You're sent here for one thing. We want to be something that we're not. So here we go. So how do we become this this man? Well, first of all, you got to understand, before you became a boy or a girl, there was an idea, and that idea manifested itself in purpose, not only in purpose, but in what we would call femininity or masculinity. Now, femininity and masculinity are not gender specific in the unseen world. These things have certain intangible abilities. They have certain enablements. And so what that does is it brings a certain essence. Now, here's what a masculine essence does. A masculine essence injects, it initiates, it infuses, right? It fills, it ejaculates, it moves, it penetrates. That's what a masculine essence does. Now, that masculine essence, which came connected to the idea of purpose, because your essence of who you are is the best way for you to fulfill your God-given purpose. See, you're not an accident. The way you came here is not an accident. Some people say that God made a mistake. I came in the wrong suit. No, you didn't. You came in the exact way that you were meant to come to fulfill your God-given purpose. See, if you are masculine, you were made to inject, to infuse. You were made to initiate, if you were. That's what you were sent to do as as the essence of masculinity. Now, the essence of masculinity is brought forth into the natural realm, and in the natural realm, it has to be clothed. It has to have permission to operate in this realm. And it can only operate in this realm if it's clothed in a connected idea to its masculinity. So to connect masculinity and have legal right to operate in this realm, it has to be connected to a boy, because a boy is the physical manifestation of that which is able to insert, inject, initiate, to fill. Okay, so it's important you understand that you're the suit, and what I call your DMA. See, when physically we have a DNA, but in the unseen world we have a DMA. Now, what is DMA? Well, we know what DNA is. Okay, those are the building blocks to our physical body. But the DMA is it covers our design, our mission, and our assignment. That's what it covers. Those three areas: our design, our mission, and our assignment. That's what you're sent to do. That's what you're sent to do. You're not sent here to just come and have children. You're not sent here to come and have a business. You're here in to inject males, or I should say masculine people, masculine men. You're sent here to inject, to insert your purpose. Okay. Now, how do you find that? Well, how do you find purpose is we're going to talk about that at the end. But what I want you to understand is that not only is there something that we call masculine, or what we call when you come into the or born into this earth, you come in as a boy. But what that's not the end of it. See, the thing about us as males, and I just gave it away. What as boys is that we develop, and once we leave boyhood, we enter into malehood. Malehood, and what I've developed using um, Eric Erickson's model of social development is I've come up with a model that shows how we develop using purpose and how we develop as boys, from boys to males, and eventually hopefully to men. Here's the problem: many of us are not men. We have not developed, because that's what the difference between the boy, the male, and the man. It's developmental. So many times what we've been looking at manhood as a physiological development, but it's not. It is not only physiological, but the most important part of it is the psychological development necessary. Why is that important? Because so many of us are stunted in our growth psychologically, cognitively, emotionally, because of some things that have occurred as we were growing in our boyhood, with some things that have occurred and happened to us that has stunted our growth. And as a result, we are still emotionally, intellectually, and psychologically males, but we have a man's body. This is presenting problems in relationship. That not knowing the difference between a boy, a male, and a man. And so it's important that we know those. So, and it goes the same way. I can go to the flip side, and I will, with on the girls as well. But tonight we're talking about the divinely inspired, high value man. So here's what brings us to this place of high valueness, men. What happens is, as we develop and matriculate from boyhood to malehood to manhood, intellectually and cognitively. And as we do those things, we begin to come in contact with some things relative to why we are here. It's called purpose. It's called purpose. And the way that you understand and come into contact with purpose is that you have to look for it. You have to look for purpose. Many of us are just wanting a job. We're doing the job and we're making other people rich. Listen to me. Listen to me. And I talk about it in my book called The Purpose Pearls of Wisdom. Is this. If you find purpose, you will find everything you need in life. Everything that you're looking for. Because purpose brings prosperity. Purpose brings productivity. I'll give you some more of them. Purpose is vitally important. Purpose provides protection. Purpose provides provision. Purpose provides patience. Purpose provides promotion. Purpose provides performance. Purpose provides passion. Purpose provides prosperity. Purpose provides pleasure. And it goes on. I have one for each day where we talk about the provisions that purpose provides. And it's important because when we understand what purpose provides, we will seek purpose and not seek some of the things that we're seeking after. Listen, money will not do it. Listen, guys, you're looking for that special lady. This is how you find her. Listen to me very closely, high value man. It's not about the amount of money in your. It's not about your the coins in your pocket, but it's the consciousness between your ears. If you are operating in purpose, believe me, where someone says that he that findeth the wife findeth a good thing. No, that's misquoted, because it's not he that findeth, it's he that encounters. That's the real literal translation in the Hebrew. It's he that encounters. How do you encounter her? You encounter her by being at work, doing what Jesus said. Be about your father's business. What is your father's business? Is it religion? No. Your father's business is the idea that you were before you came. That's purpose. Your purpose, if you're doing your purpose, she will be drawn to you. You will encounter her, gentlemen. She will be drawn because she's drawn to that sound. She can hear it because she has that same inclination to join together and to operate, because two become one. And when they become one, they become more powerful. Why? Because what you provide, male, men, boys, what you provide is vision. What she provides is strategy. You need her to provide the strategies for you to fulfill your vision. But she needs you to have a vision. The problem is so many of us as men don't have no vision. That's why she's not following you. That's why she's bored. That's why she doesn't respect you, because you have no vision. But you can gain vision. Now, vision has nothing to do with your job. Vision has nothing to do with your job. Vision is your work. Purpose is your work. See, because vision is the fulfillment in picture form of your purpose. What is it that you see, gentlemen? What is it that you see? What is it that you've seen since you were a child? I'm not talking about you trying to get something done to make money. I'm asking you, what is it have you seen since you have been a child? There's certain things that I've seen as a child, and you have too. They repeat themselves. Why? Because they're connected to your individual purpose. And so what we've got to do as men is begin to go after purpose. Now, one of the things that I do through some of my literature is to help you find purpose. And we call it purposeology. Purposeology has 26 components to help you identify and find, form, and bring into fruition your individual purpose. Now, you may not need all 26, but you will be able to find purpose. Now, all these are built on scientific, what we call spiritual scientific methodology, and it's called purposeology. So it's important for us to, if we're going to be high value men, it's not about what's going to be in your pocket. No, it's not. It's not what's in your purse. It's in your purpose. It's not what's in your pocket. It's in your purpose. In your purpose is where you're going to find the answer to your happiness and your fulfillment. What is it that you want? You want significance? Who doesn't? You are significant. You're significant by virtue of the fact that you were born. That's how significant you were. When you think about how many millions of sperm cells that were after that egg, and the one that brought you about won the race, you're significant. You're not an accident. You came encoded with DMA, design, mission, and assignment. Now, what is it? We can help you. We can help you find it. And it's important because what it will do is change the world. It'll change our community, our culture, and our clan. What do we want? What do we want? We want fulfillment. We want the best for our children. We want the best for our community. We want the best for our culture. Right? And so to get those things, we've got to understand that purpose is the most important thing. Now, when we start talking about purpose, now here's and I'm gonna briefly discuss this briefly because I go more in depth in it in some of my other videos on YouTube. The idea of there's two ideas that seem to set men and women at odds, and that is the idea of submission and settling. We don't want to settle, and we don't want to submit. Woo! I have to take a drink to that one. Now, I'm going to say this real quickly about these two concepts. And then I'm going to get on to, and I'm going to close with the 3 keys to successful relationship for a high value man. High value man, this is some things that you got to understand about submission and settling. These are some important things that you've got to understand about submission and settling. First of all, both concepts come they're both gender developed and gender motivated concepts. A girl learned about submission differently than a boy learned about submission. Because a boy learned about submission on the football field where we made the opponent submit through force and violence. Right? Whereas she learned this to submit through using her feminine wiles, using her femininity. She's learned to get what she wants. Where you use force, she used finagling. But it's the same thing. But here's the thing. Our mentality about those concepts are different. And it's because of that, when we start talking about submission and settling, we bump heads, don't we? Don't we bump heads? We don't hear each other because we're thinking about the mentality that we have about that concept that came to us as we were growing up as a girl and as a boy. So what we've got to learn to do is to change our mentality, to at least consider how the other person thinks about it and begin to discuss and to talk about it. If you look at the story between Adam and Eve, you will see the idea of submission. It's in my book, In the Midst of the Garden. And it talks about the whole idea of submission. And what is truly submission? And then on my YouTube station, I also talk about, and that is G Spot with G Alpha Palmer. That's over here. That's played over here, and Facebook Live is over here. So Facebook, go to YouTube, okay, and go to YouTube and check out that particular video that talks about submission. Why is submission important? Because we have misunderstood it from a gender perspective. Submission is not a gender concept, not in its original intent. It is a principle. It is a divine principle. See, what we've got to understand is there are divine principles that establish earthly laws. Principles precede laws. We operate on laws, but if we want to find out the truth about the law, because men have maneuvered law, haven't they? But if we go and live by the principle, we will exceed the law. Paul talked about it. So to exceed the law of on this earth, we've got to understand principles. So we've got to understand what the principle of submission is, so that we can operate here on earth, understanding what submission really is. I need to talk to my YouTube people a little bit more here. So it's important to understand that submission is not what we've been taught. It's not. She'll never agree to that. She's not going to agree to you making her a footstool. She's not going to agree to that. And neither should she, because that's not what submission is, not what is the original intent. See, I talk about this a lot when I look at the biblical narrative. I look at what I call the law of first mention. The first time a word is used is critical to how the original intent and idea and meaning of the word is. Okay? So we want to understand what submission is, we have to go back and look at the beginning. It's important. So let's talk about settling. Another idea that's been misconstrued. And as a result of it, we have been bumping heads as a result. Again, I got another video that talks about settling and what settling is. I'm not going to get into it now, but I want to tell you this. If you're going to be a high valued man, we're going to be a divinely inspired high valued man. We've got to understand what submission and settling is and understand it from a divine perspective, not from our psychologically developmental perspective, because it's misconstrued. It's misconstrued and it's gender specific, and it excludes fairness, equity, freedom, and liberty. It's selfish, it's misogynistic, right? So for us, these terms need to be re-identified. When I say us, I'm talking about for us divinely inspired, high value men. Now, I'm going to close with this, guys. I'm gonna close with this. I try to keep my videos under an hour because I'm time is your most valuable commodity. You don't get it back. And what we've got to do, and this is for my content creators out there, we've got to respect people's time because it's the only time that they have. Sure, they can look at it later, definitely, but some people won't. They'll use their valuable time, and so we've got to help them by making our videos palatable in a short setting. But I want to talk very briefly about 3 keys to successful relationship because as a high value man, a divinely inspired high value man, it's important that we understand these 2 principles, these 3 principles, excuse me. The principle of cooperation, the principle of compromise, and the principle of agreement. I'll say them again. The principle of cooperation, the principle of compromise, and the principle of agreement. Now, real briefly, I want you to understand this. These 3 principles started in the Garden of Eden. You want to understand a little bit more about it, get my book, In the Midst of the Garden. I'll have the description, I'll have the link in the description below for YouTube. But cooperation, compromise, and agreement are critical to the divinely inspired high valued man. Critical. Why? Because those are the foundational principles of who you are to be in this realm. See, here's the thing. We're to have dominion, but you're never to have dominion over people. We're to have dominion over stuff and things, but never people. That's why racism, sexism, discrimination of all kinds against people is wrong. Whether you agree with that lifestyle or what, the way it's still wrong the way you treat people because they have every bit of right to be here as you, right? Cooperation, compromise, and agreement. We've got to learn to cooperate with people. And to do that, you've got to think of others more highly than yourself. Okay, you the big guy, you 6'6", you lift weights. Oh, I do too. But the thing is, cooperation is a matter of the mentality. If you exercise your mind more than your body, then you'll be in really, really good shape. But most of us guys don't exercise our mind to the same level that we do our bodies. So we're big, strong, strapping boys. You hear that? ESPN. The other thing is real quickly is the idea of compromise. See, settling is the wrong idea. Ladies, that's why you have a tendency to not agree with it because settling has the notion and it has the idea of not meeting your expectations or what it is that you desire or want. But compromise, see, in every relationship, business, religion, intimacy, entrepreneurship, education, I don't care what the relationship is, I don't care what it is, you're going to have to compromise. Everybody, and here's what compromise is giving a little, getting a little. See, what we've got to do is stand up for the deal breakers and give up on the things that are not deal breakers. Let them have those, right? Let them have those. But continue to stand for your deal breakers. If those deal breakers are biblically sound, just because you feel something doesn't make it right. Right? You can feel like there's a Santa Claus. There was a time you did. I did. I felt that there was a Santa Claus. But I got to a place where I realized there is no Santa Claus. And that's just an example of coming to a place from where we were. And so to compromise, you have to come from a place where you were to a new place, and a place of mutual agreement, which is the last part, the last key, agreement. If you would read the in depth about Adam and Eve, the truest, most important principle that's introduced in that Garden of Eden experience is the principle of agreement, the principle of compromise, and the principle of cooperation. It's right there in the Garden of Eden. If you don't believe me, get my book. It's in there. I'll show it to you. Okay? Well, I hope that you got something out of this. Please, if you did, share it with someone. If you haven't, okay, that's fine. But if what I would like to hear from my Facebook family, if you would just let's talk about it. You have some comments. You want to say something. I would love to hear it. I really, really want to hear you. But I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to argue with you. Okay? But let's talk, dialogue, exchange. And if we can do that, we can extend, expand, and elevate together. On my YouTube station, my YouTube family, let's continue to develop into the high valued man, but the divinely inspired man, high valued man that has all the things that we talked about here. Because what purpose provides is these things that you're looking for and that she's looking for. She wants protection, provision. What greater way can you provide those things than through your purpose? Excuse me. Huh? What greater way? Well, I'm hoping that you got something out of this. And we'll be back tomorrow on YouTube every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. We're at the G spot with G Alpha Palmer. I love you there. Come on over and join us. Come on over and join us, Facebook. It'd be great. Well, thanks so much. I'm having a ball. I really am. I'm having a ball with doing this. I really am. So I'm going to close with that. And I'm going to say to my YouTube family, to my Facebook family, it's been a joy and a privilege for you to spend this time with me. It's a little longer than I would like to have been with you. I'm still under an hour, but I'm still a little bit longer than I would like to have been. But thank you so much. We got some information for you that we're going to place in the on the page so that you can go to the website and order some of the things that we talked about. So I'm hoping that they hear from you. See you real soon. This is Dr. G. Alpha Palmer. Peace. Okay, YouTube, they're gone. And I want to thank you too for spending this time with me. I'm looking down here when I should be looking up here. Thank you so much for your time, your most valued commodity, and you spent it with me. It's an honor. It's an honor. And I really, really do honor and appreciate it. Till tomorrow night, Dr. G. Alpha Palmer. Peace.